Welcome to the Church of Tomorrow Morning. And we'll be short today, but today, here are his last thoughts regarding spirituality entrapped in our African youth. He should also instruct his people, and we're talking about the masters. We're talking about the plantation owners. He should also instruct his people, and promote their spiritual improvement by establishing a plantation school for the children and youth. The children should come with clean clothes, clean faces, and hands, and be kept together from 15 to 45 minutes. And in addition, such religious instruction as is communicated in common Sabbath schools, they may be taught other things of value at the discretion of the teacher, who was an overseer or a master. When well conducted, these plantation schools, in the course of a few years, produce most decidedly and beneficial changes over the whole plantation. Civilization, intelligence, manners, habits, conversation are all improved. The scholars learn lessons of respect and obedience to their superiors, slave masters. They make more pleasant and profitable servants, better children, and when grown, better husband and wife. The wild, half-clothed, boisterous, lawless rabble of children are tamed and reduced to decency and order. If an owner looked no further than his own comfort and interest as an owner, he would establish a school for the children and youth on his plantation. Such a school assists the discipline of a plantation in a wonderful manner. Now, read this, we have to be careful of, because we have one side told, and you're going to get the other side of it, but listen to this. The Bena people of Tanzania say that the child of a snake is a snake. Probably the best equivalent for American understanding is one can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. We displaced Africans must really reassess if taking on our slave masters' religious systems and beliefs have been beneficial to us as a whole. Let's restate part of the above passage again for emphasis. When well conducted, these plantation schools in the course of a few years produce most decidedly and beneficial changes over the whole plantation. Civilization, intelligence, manners, habits, conversation are all improved. Their scholars learn lessons of respect and obedience to their superiors, slave masters. They make more pleasant and profitable servants, better children, and when grown, better husband and wife. The half-clothed, wild, boisterous, lawless rabble of children are tamed and reduced to decency and order if an owner look no further than his own comfort and interest in an owner. He would establish a school for the children and youth on his plantation. Such a school assists the discipline of a plantation in a wonderful manner. To conclude, in the language of an experienced planter, slave owner, and friend of the religious instruction of the Negroes, to make this system of religion instruction on plantations truly and permanently beneficial, the entire discipline and economy of the plantation must be established and regulated in harmony with itself. Now, here he was quoting fellow African spirit conqueror Thomas S. Clay to make the religious instruction of the Negro truly and permanently beneficial, create the lie of a hell and make Negroes fear even thinking about questioning that book. Add to the spreading the lie that we were not Africans. Let me say this again. To make religion instruction of the Negro truly and permanently beneficial, create the lie of a hell and make Negroes fear even thinking about questioning that book. That book was the Bible. Add that to spread it.
That's right. Brother Greer, I wasn't breaking it. And if they lied about hell, they lied about heaven, because you can't have one without the other. That's why people should wake up. Religious instruction of the Negro is something that's a must read, especially for our so-called religious brethren.
So what do you think about the plantation schools? I mean, I see they refer to Africans as...
The church is a modern day plantation school, brother. You know, that's why they have with the Sunday school teacher, what he talked about for an hour, 45 minutes, where you get the kids in there and you brainwash and indoctrinate them towards only one book, biblical stories. I think I talked to you earlier about church and what church should consist of. Church should consist of the home. And church should be held every Sunday or every Saturday, whatever day, in the person's home, to discuss with their family the economics of the family, the spiritual and social condition of the family, the everyday nuances and responsibilities of the family, and the safety of the family. So when that family walk outside in that community living, they're living in a safe community.
Now,
so you, your neighbor, and everybody else having this type of church, this type of talk, this type of gathering with your own family without going and sitting and listening to some doom and gloom, heaven and hell story every Sunday. Imagine what it could do straight, first of all, for your family, and what it can do for yourself.
And who leads that family?
The man. The one who sits around and leaves his children. The one who don't take responsibilities for what's happening outside the door in his own community. Because he's not there. When it comes to our people, 70% still think some crazy number like that.
Can we go into why he's not there? I mean,
there's many reasons, but the foundation, first of all, that what you mentioned earlier, that religion, that church, that was his foundation. Why he's not there? Because see, in that arena, you can do anything. You can even take a person's life, but you will be forgiven. So if you come from a doctrine like that, well, even if you leave your babies and your family and stuff, you don't even have to take responsibility for them, but you still can get 40, 50 years old and go join some church and be forgiven for all that you have done. And you're going to be granted forgiveness as long as you take Jesus as your Lord and Savior. That means you still can enter this kingdom that they have taught you about. But now, as you get older, you start thinking about this other place they told you about, this underground burning pit. And you damn sure don't want to go there. So you done made your choice. So all what you have done, be it leaving your family, be it doing all type of other things, even a bit murder, and you still will be forgiven.
So do you think that the church instills fear?
The church has become the laughing stock, really. Black church has become the laughing stock of the world.
Well,
I got various ways I can tell you why.
I'm listening.
I think you covered all of them in what you had just read, because it's basically indoctrination by people like what's that man's name again, Charles Colcott Jones.
Yeah, but in this particular one here, it says Thomas S. Clay. He said, "Let them, the slave masters, invest a little capital in the minds and hearts of their people, us Africans, and will prove to all concerned a peace-giving and profitable investment for time and eternity." So the reason why I'm asking you this is because from the religious, not from the religion that they have been taught here in the United States, but they already knew God in Africa, and that God that they knew in Africa had them in a whole different frame of mind, one in which you were responsible for your family, your village, yourself, and the family was at a whole. The community was at a whole. So I'm trying to find out what.
I really don't know what they thought, except for what I read.
Mm-hmm.
But I know what I see and what was done to us.
Right.
And what was taught to us with that Bible. That's second to none. That's second to none.
Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah. That's a lot of ground to cover.
We just want the 2 or 3 minute version because most of us have been through it, but we just need to hear it firsthand. I can tell you from what I know, I used to see grandmother get up, had all white on, make sure that we go to church and we were mannerable, and if we cut up, they corrected us right there in the church. And they scared us half to death with most of the speech and people catching the spirit and doing all kind of things and making us respect the church as maybe the number one entity in a community. And then we came up, in a way that we were supposed to fear a God that's supposed to love us. And he was supposed to take care of us. But we were the one taking care of the church, and the God that they talked about was taking care of the plantation owner or the people in charge or the people who was telling our preachers what to preach to us, to keep us in a slave-minded reality. And right now, we still in that slave-minded reality because we don't want to leave. We're too scared to leave from the church to think on our own because we don't need a mediator between us and God. If he blew his breath into us and we have the spirit of him, our creator in us, then that means we are our own gods. But when you lean on somebody for your food, water, your shelter, he is your God.
Every word you say is true, brother. And that's why it was so hard for me to go back because I'm free. I'm free of that. I'm free of that book. I think I told you the story about the clear glass of water that my father told me. He said,
yeah, you need to tell them.
Yeah, he went pour some water in the glass in the clear glass, and the water was crystal clear. And he went and he got some dirt from outside, and he said, This is you. This is your brain. It's clouded, full of dirt, full of rottenness, full of all this stuff that you done learned through the years. He said, and contaminated your son. And he took the glass again, he poured another clear glass of water. He said, This is how your brain should look. He said, and he went and poured the other glass. He said, Now pour the one with the dirt. And he poured it down the drain. He said, Now this is you getting rid of all that stuff that you got inside of you. All that dirt and all that no good stuff. He said, because you get it when your brain look like this, or your spirit look like this, where this is learn the truth, son. So what I did, all that stuff in the Bible was part of it. Church and religion was part of it. Race was part of it. My people, places, and things that I was going around, that was all part of it. And so what I did, I changed. I changed myself. And I started replacing all that negativity with positivity. I started replacing with, I read over 200 or 300 books. I started writing. I formed an organization. All because my brain became clear and clarified to what I did. But guess what? Everything that I did when I poured what I did in that clear glass, it stayed clear. And anytime I had a speck of dirt, or a speck of some type of negativity or foolishness, it dissolved instantly. I poured the glass out. Even though the rest was clear, they had one speck, I pulled it out and I replaced it and filled it up again. with that clarity and clarified and kept myself clarified like that. Got myself pure. That's why I call myself a purified black man, and that's what a lot of us should start to practice, how to become purified black men. And I go back to the story of having the church at your house with your family first, and then to go outside in the community and have that same church with other men who have in that church, men and women, who really are the most powerful force there is, black women.
Griak one, can you tell us?
I didn't say black girls or black, black females. I said black women. The same way with black men. Not black males, but a black man. We got a lot of black males, we got a lot of black females, but we don't have enough black women and black men. So once you sit down, like I said, and have that church at your house, and let your children understand economics, because the economics start with what y'all paying for, and they understand what every food costs, and the importance of keeping something clean, the importance of whatever we got, the importance of whatever we got in here. Everything is costs money, so we live in that 30-day plan I think I talked about. That psychological mental slavery plan of 30 days, where if you don't have that money, that rent money, that light bill money, whatever money that you have to pay in 30 days, and that's, you're getting them prepared for that, because they're going to be on that same 30-day cycle. So how to utilize the economics, how to utilize going outside in that same community, and knowing when they open the door, they're safe. You don't have to worry about people on the corner selling drugs or carrying guns and shit all throughout the community, because the community became safe because the black men in the house raising the black men, the young black boys. Got it? And instead of having a male in your life, we should learn how to have men in our life. And the kind of men I'm talking about, those who've been purified. Those who, them pollutants inside of them are gone. They got a thing in the Vatican, I think, them white folks, I don't want to just go across the board with white folk, because they got bishops and archbishops from different countries inside that Catholic church that I'm getting ready to talk about. And they anoint saints. They canonize them. They got this ritual they go through and say, this man that lived such an exemplary life, we're going to say that he's a saint. And you can learn from him if you look into his ways and look into the things that he did and sanctify yourself through this saint. Well, if they was giving that away, he might as well give me one. Just from being a purified black man, from the time what I used to be and what I was, well, I should be getting and putting two shields on my shoulder, or two swords, and give me my sainthood, especially among black men.
Brother Greer,
I'm not taking a back seat to nobody no more. I'm going to say what I say. Well, I'm going to say what I feel. And I only speak the truth because I live the truth. And I've been doing that for a long time. That's part of my sainthood. So I don't need the church or nobody to do that. I do that for myself. God is already in me. I don't have to go searching outside. And that's what we make the mistake. And so what you was talking about, that Bible, bro, we've been so polluted, man. And our mothers and grandmothers and stuff, that's all they knew. So they taught that to us, And I think I talked to you last week about this thing about these people, Luke, John, and Isaiah, and all these people, these apostles, and these stories they got inside of that they teach us about these people. We should be taught about our great-grandfather who put up with this shit here, this condition that they were living in America. Our great-great-grandfather, our grandfathers, our grandmothers, our great-great-grandmothers, and then find out what's their story. We claim to know the stories about all these people in this book, but we don't even know our own dear grandparents and great-grandparents and great-grandfathers and great-great-grandfathers. We don't even know their story. And nowadays, we go on the internet or some website, and this is some people call research. Certain names of people that they got on these posts and these sites that's telling you about your history.
Brother Greer, because a lot of these viewers, they don't know what the Church of Tomorrow Morning is. And there are two things that I would like to bundle up with this religion. And one, you talked about, first of all, I have to say this. We are not niggas. You accepted that from somebody who was the first nigga. To tell you the truth, if you do your history and go to Asia and look at Chinese, they have niggas as God, nigga. And I'll tell you, just do your history and you'll see that. But we were not the first niggas. Everybody could be a nigga. Chinese, Indian, European, when he was living in caves, was the first ones. But talk about being an ex-nigga and also, if you don't mind, introduce us with a small portion of the Negora.
Negora was one of my writings. And it was, we like to be fancy and we like to claim we not no nigga no more, we not Negro, and some of the words black, African American. So I just came up with a word to describe this crossbreed between a nigga and a Negro called the Negora. That's a fancy name. You like fanciness, you like to be, idolized and looked at in your nigga state. So I gave you a raw name, Negora. I put a little more emphasis on, gave you something you really, that special breed that don't understand the civil rights movement, the one who believe in get rich or die trying by any means necessary and unnecessary. Those who frequent the church, kind men, they love to, in other words, they like I say, they model is to get money by any means necessary and unnecessary. So they will sell you out. They don't care about nothing.
So they like to...
And they're secretive, they come in stealth. You don't know what it is because they disguise themselves. You may think they're Negro, you may think they're African American, you might think they're down home true black man, and they got superpowers. And this is sarcasm in the writing, There's a superpower that, wherever there's negativity, that he's going to appear. You could be in Chicago, you could be in Baltimore, this Negro is going to appear around you with his negativity, with his bullshit, with his con game for dollars, for a nickel or a dime off of you, And most of them are found in the church. Most of them are preachers. Most of them selling some type of insurance. Most of them telling you they want to invest in some stock market. Any way they could beat you out of your money legally and illegally and come back and tell you, oh man, the reason why you lost your money on the stock market because you put it in the wrong stock.
That reminds me of the European. Because
the reason why you're not going, man, you didn't put it up in church. That's why God don't like you. You're not going to heaven. You got to put $100 a week instead of 20. Oh, they got a store everywhere, all over, man. If you put a little more into your life insurance, man, we got this double indemnity when you die, man, by accident or something, man, your people get a little more, bro.
Yeah.
All kind of games to get a nickel or dime out of your pocket, man. All learn from the master, all learn from his, but like I say, he's a special breed,
Right.
Yeah, he's you don't even see him coming. Yeah, he's a raw nigga, man.
So, can you close out with talking about, from ex-nigga?
You got to read the Negora, man, because it's just, I wrote this like 19, 20 years ago, and and a lot of stuff I'm saying today, I have changed from that perspective, and I forgot a lot of what I wrote then. But if you read it, you'll thoroughly enjoy it. I can tell you that.
I'll make sure I do that. Now, can we go from ex-nigga to where we are today?
Yeah, I wrote another page called Confessions of an Ex-Nigga. I think you read that already.
Not on this live.
I'll have to read that on air for you to understand that.
All right.
Because I put all those feelings to that writing.
Got it. So
You used to me discussing those feelings when I already wrote about it. And the spirit took over that pen when
Got it.
And I wouldn't have that same,
intensity.
Revisiting that spirit over the phone and talking about it right now.
Okay. Well, as usual, this is the church of tomorrow morning. You don't have to put nothing in the donation box. You don't have to come back no more. You can come back if you want to listen to some frank talk, speaking the truth as best as we know it. But I will say one thing.
Whatever you're doing today that's negative, just wake up tomorrow morning and stop it. That's how simple it is. And just like the brother told you, that's why you don't have to come back for what? You change. You're doing the right thing. You know?
Now you
got no money. Anybody ask for any money on this phone? Anybody ask for a donation? Anybody want to send you some holy water and a prayer cloth? All this other foolishness that you've been sold, that somebody sold to you already?
Nobody even asked you for a share, a like, or a subscription, which I don't have to tell you what you need to do, because if you really want to support somebody, you already know what to do. The Spirit of God is in each and every one of you, so why do you need somebody to tell you something that you already know?
Yeah, matter of fact, just tune in because you're going to go to heaven. You know, and maybe we get everybody tuning in, because if that's our pitch, tune in and you're going to heaven. Okay? Same way that man got you.
Yeah.
Just come to church on Sunday and I'll guarantee you a spot in heaven. Well, tune into this channel and we're going to guarantee you a spot in heaven. Same way he guaranteed it to you. There's more God's Spirit on this phone than you will ever find in any church house. Without the festivities, without the drums, without the choir, without somebody egging you on to think you're feeling some type of outside godly spirit. That's Africa coming out of your lost soul. That's all that is.
So
trying to bring you back home.
For those who want to go home, and now, any closing statements, Griot one?
No, because I really didn't want to talk this morning because we planned our big one for next week. But I just want people just to feel, just to love each other, just to make sure you teach your children. Start discussing things around your home, man.
Start with the home.
Discussing things and include your family and have your own church before you even leave to go to anybody else's.
You are the church. Now, with this, we will close out, because I will do my best to arrest the negative light shown on our people who we ourselves detest. At the end, ancestors' behest, we shall stop fighting one another as if we are entered in the master's contest. We are not his quest to mock and jest. Let us take our rightful place on top of the earth's crest. No, this is not a test, nor the Wild Wild West. It is time to campaign and build upon our own war chest. Protest, I attest, is like all the rest. Talk, talk, talk. No, I suggest. Stop talking and finally face your true pest. End of story.
Like Paul.
All right, my brother.